Yeah.
Okay.
We used our 4-person tent last night in the yard. Got really cold though, around 45 degrees and damp. But we stuck through and made it, right guys? We're cooking a little breakfast. We brought some eggs and bread. The coals stayed hot all night, so it didn't take a whole lot to stoke the fire this morning. Steven woke up first, played around in the fire with some sticks and got flames for us. Did y'all sleep okay?
Yeah.
I didn't.
I woke up like 3 times during the night.
Yeah. Campfire coffee, pepper. Toast. How'd the toast come out on that piece of foil?
I'm not sure. Burnt or one part.
Okay, well, I brought some syrup. You can put some syrup on them, Tim.
Okay. I thought this is the one that's least burnt.
Steve, can you hold this? You can throw those sticks in. Okay, hold this above the heat. Forgot a spatula. It's awesome to have a spot in our own yard we can camp out in, huh guys?
Yay.
We didn't do supper last night, but we did start the fire and then set up some plastic and then the tent. And we got lots of sticks and branches and old wood. And we were surprised at how much wood it took just to make our little fire for an hour and a half or so, huh?
Yay.
And then we found a few more sticks and got the fire started again, enough to cook a few eggs and some toast. String cheese, syrup, thick cold syrup. Come on. Yeah. Yum. Camp food.
This is harder than I thought. Ooh.
We are straightening out old nails that Grandpa saved. because we're building a what?
An overhang.
Say it again.
An overhang.
Yeah, an overhang adding on to the garden shed that's closest to the house. Alright, 50 inches right there. Okay, Sim, take this over to the third one and show you 50 inches. It needs to come this way. Alright, put a nail in. Too close to the edge. It might split. Yeah, there you go.
Just hit it on, Tim. It's bouncy because it's suspended. Is it still on the marks pretty well?
Yes.
Okay.
It's close.
So we'll have this one and maybe 4 runners all together.
Oh, come on.
It's okay.
I thought it tried to do that.
Drill. Thank you. Okay, that's good, Tim. Thank you. Okay. Miss. Temporary setup. We need to get it a little bit higher on this end, and then we will use these white 2x4s to come in at an angle to the building to hold it up. Alright, so we decided to go with these posts when we found them in the loft of wood instead of using these white ones to come at an angle right here. That means we would have to put something in the side of the shed. So it would be nice to have an angle, and this would be a true awning where we have nothing making a footprint on the ground to cut grass around and to worry about. But I think for ease and stability, we'll use these posts. They already had plastic feet on them from something I had before, and so now we're just going to ease them up. We had a little bit of pressure up here. The tin for the overhang roof was touching the runner on the shed's roof, and it was basically causing a pivoting action pushing the roof out a little bit, and we had some stress on the screws, and when I tried to loosen them, they actually broke. So I think we're okay now. I'll continue to lift bit by bit. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good height, guys. As long as I can easily walk under it, I'm happy. And we're almost straight up now, so I think it's going to be great.
Almost.
How's that look?
Good.
Yeah. Now we'll just put some brackets up here to anchor these posts. We have an extra space for me to work on riding mowers or store a spare mower or something like that. It's not real pretty, but we used all stuff we already had. It's pretty awesome when you're working on the homestead. And lots of help from the boys. Good job, guys. One more project down on the homestead. So one quick tip when you're trying to make a purchase like this and something slightly twisted or there's a gap, put one fastener in, maybe temporarily, and then get a clamp. Hold them together and then put your screws in. Because yes, sometimes with a nice strong drill, when you use good screws, they will suck up that gap. But it's best to use a clamp and let it do the work, and then the screws will join the two boards when they're touching really well. You have a really good purchase that way. So I have this odd clamp here that my brother gave me. I think he gave it to me out of frustration instead of pure niceness, because he couldn't really get it to work well and he was aggravated and asked me if I wanted it. So it's always nice to have a few good clamps. And it was aggravating at first. It's called a click clamp. But once you know how it works, it's actually pretty cool. So it uses friction here and these little grooves to help it lock in this direction, because as you tighten, you get a pivot like this and it bites here. So you want to place it in as tight of a position as you can on your work. For example, I'll just bite on the ladder right here, and you tighten it up the best you can like this, and then when you squeeze on this handle, it clicks back there, right here, and that's how it tightens. And it works pretty well once you figure it out. And to release, you squeeze a little and then squeeze this trigger, and then it releases. Just drop my drill. Drop my clamp. Need a camera stand. Still not good enough. This needs to be all the way out for it to really work well. You don't have much distance to tighten. Couldn't tighten it up so well because the screw was still in there. Should have thought of that. So I put in this screw and it holds it where it's already touching. Now I can tighten the clamp well and put in the second screw. Alright, so to quote the awesome Wrangler store, that clamp was rubbish. No, not really, just for this particular job. It just didn't have enough closing distance. So I went ahead and got my trusty bar clamp, closed it up, loosened and tightened screws a couple of times, and now we are good to go. Just need to screw in these others and put braces, tie down braces here at the top of the post, and we have a neat little overhang. All right.